Good evening, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well. It's about 6:50 here in Ecuador, and I'm sorry I'm just now getting to my five takeaways from the game Saturday. I really had a good time watching it, although it did leave me on edge. I really, for most of that game, I did not think we were going to win. I just had that familiar feeling that those of us who have been following this program have had for over a decade. It just felt like one of those games that was going to slip out of reach for us. We would not have won this game under the last two coaching staffs. We would not have even come close under the last two coaches. I'm not going to name them. I respect both of them a lot and their staffs, but we wouldn't have come close to win this game with either of them. And I don't think, even though Tommy Tuberville had some big wins at Tech, I don't think this is a game he goes on the road and wins either. So it did make me feel very grateful, especially for our head coach, our special teams coach. I think Kenny Perry was named special team or assistant coach of the week. I don't know if it was by the Big 12 or what outlet gave him that designation, but I think he definitely deserves it. He's done a great job this year. And then I've been singing Tim DeRuyter's praises all season. He once again did a great job. Offensive coordinator, as you all know, I'm a little bit shaky on. Hopefully he can change my mind over the last couple of games. Really pretty much over the next week, a little over a week. We've got two games coming up really close together. So that's one of my first takeaway is really, I don't think even under the last three coaching staffs, we have any shot at winning that game like we did Saturday. So very appreciative of most of the coaching staff. One thing that's really jumped out at me when I was looking at the stats, Kansas actually outgained us on Saturday. Wasn't by a lot, but it was by a few yards. And really, what it came down to were those red zone stops. Those three red zone stops. They pretty much negated that. They negated the way that Kansas's offense actually did pretty well against us. But those three red zone stops were huge. Hold them to a field goal twice, and then getting the fourth down turnover on downs. It was absolutely huge. That leads me to my next takeaway. We were tied on turnovers officially. Baron Morton, who obviously played very courageously. I'm going to talk about it more in a second, but he's obviously really banged up. But he threw that horrible pass into triple coverage. You can't blame that on his injury. That was just a really bad decision. That was kind of a sophomore decision. And then, of course, Rabbit had the big turnover for us, but really, they had two turnover on downs on fourth down, and that really turned it into the turnover margin to 3-1 in our favor, and definitely played a big role in the outcome of the game. Was surprised by the yards per carry, the team yards per carry, only 3.1 yards. Most of that, of course, was Taj. And most of that, frankly, most of the reason why it was only 3.1 yards a carry is because we were getting into these situations where they would have eight guys in the box and we would run it anyway. And Taj Brooks is a great player, and he's a big reason why we have a chance to even make a bowl this year. But it makes me wonder how hurt Baron Morton really is. And I think we've seen it's nothing against him. He's just a true freshman. We've seen what happens when we put a true freshman in these types of big conference games, and Saturday is a big conference game. It's as big as it gets for Tech, really, with everything that's on the line. Makes me wonder. They keep saying that there's no way Tyler Shuck will take another snap for Tech. I know he's running the scout team this week. And Joey McGuire, if you really listen to him closely, he didn't really say that. So it makes me wonder. I hope Morton can play, and I hope he can play well enough to make at least short and medium range passes when they've got eight guys in the box. Which of course Central Florida is going to try to do the same thing. Um, if he gets to where he can't make those throws, it makes me wonder if they would not try Tyler Shock. I just don't know. I don't know how hurt he is. The fact that he's practicing this week, makes me think that if he absolutely had to, he's a senior. It doesn't look like there's any chance he's coming back to Tech, although I think he technically has one more year of eligibility. But anyway, that ship has sailed. He's going to leave after this season. It makes me wonder if he had to play on Saturday if he could. And I think if you really dug deep enough, you'd find out that he's the backup quarterback on Saturday, probably not the true freshman. That's just my gut feeling. Obviously Taj Brooks has been amazing this year. But if we become bowl eligible, and if we do, obviously the win against Kansas is a big reason why. Um, Outside of Taj Brooks, the main reason we'll be bowl eligible if we do win on Saturday or win the last game of the season, which I think is unlikely. We have to give enormous credit to our defense and special teams. They've just been huge. They've been big in critical moments. I've noticed pretty much every game, the exception of maybe the Kansas State game, the Rooters made excellent adjustments at halftime. Great coaches usually make great adjustments in situations like that. It seems like every time we come out in the third quarter, the defense is playing better, and they certainly did again Saturday. So if this team becomes bowl eligible, obviously Taj Brooks has had an unbelievable year, and our offensive line has done a great job run blocking, and there's been some great individual performances on offense. I think it's the first time Tech could truly say, in a long time, probably a decade, that the success of the season, whatever success of the season, most of it, I think, goes to the defense and the special teams. They've just been huge at critical moments. And then obviously Taj Brooks has had an unbelievable season, but defense and special teams have been huge, and Tech hasn't really been able to say that in a long time. A little bit last year, but I think this year we've really had to lean on them, and they've come up big, and hopefully they'll do it again Saturday. So I'm going to try to get Jordan on tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then definitely Friday, and we'll give our prediction on the UCF game. It's going to be a huge game. Been watching ticket prices; they keep ticking up. I've noticed that there just seems to be a lot of anticipation with this game in the Big 12. UCF obviously played a great game against Oklahoma State on Saturday. I think the score was a little deceiving, but I'll talk a little bit more about that during the prediction either tomorrow or Friday. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Everybody have a nice evening. Talk to you soon.